Okay, we are live. Welcome,
Great, great.
everybody, to episode 23 of That Moment Heart to Heart Talk with Victoria. I am, of course, your host, and I'm here today with the incredible Fusun. Fusun, welcome, welcome, welcome to the show.
Thank you so much, Victoria, for inviting me over. It's always lovely to see you. So I'm looking forward to this interview tonight.
Oh, I'm so tonight, right? So it's midday for me, and you're in the Netherlands.
Absolutely. Yes, I'm in Europe, so it's evening time now.
Thank you so much for making this work. I've wanted you on the show. In fact, before you actually share your special gift and who you are in this world, even in the first conversation that you and I had before you actually provided healing for me, I learned a lot about your story. And it was incredibly eye-opening and definitely gave me insight into who you are and why you do what you do. So I love it, and I can't wait to hear a little bit more about it. But can you share with everyone, what do you do in this world? Who are you? How do you contribute?
Okay, it's my pleasure to share that. So actually, I'm an emotional healer. What does this mean? Of course, I had my own experience, which we can go back to that later. I realized that I have the gift of healing without following any courses, any trainings, or any mentors or teachers. And it's generated or happened to me naturally. And then I was really curious what is going on with me, and I went on a journey to find out. And then I noticed and realized, after especially healing my paralyzed father, because my father was paralyzed for a while, I helped him walk with whatever I was doing at the time, which I didn't have a clue. Then I realized that I can help people physically with physical pain. Like I had clients that had hip replacements or hernia or infections or any kind of physical disease. But I also realized that because I'm very intuitive and energetically can dive very deep in, I was able to help people on the emotional level. And honestly, I liked it better than the physical treatments because I feel for the people, I feel the pain of people, and I feel their blockages, and I can intuitively sense where it is coming from. And then, whatever way I'm guided, I'm helping people heal. And my healings are touch free. So it doesn't matter if you are with me or somewhere else in the world, I'm able to do these sessions via distance. And the results are the same because there is a collective understanding of things, and there is also another level of understanding things. What I learned in my journey in the last 14 years is that I'm able to channel messaging, and I'm able to do automatic writing. So my human mind was not able to understand certain things. And whenever I was asking these things, my guides were telling me that I'm thinking like a human being because that's my experience in this world. And I don't know what is out there or what kind of experiences people are experiencing. But we need proof. If we talk about the phone, we want to see the phone. If we talk about the pen, we want to see the pen.
Mm-hmm.
But if you talk about energy, people are like, what, where, how?
Mm-hmm.
Then our skeptic mind starts questioning that. And
Mm-hmm.
then you just make people feel that.
Mm-hmm.
And then you say, I can do things via distance. They say, yeah, but how? Because if it is a course, you will write things down, you will show them slides and those kind of things. And then again, I let them experience, but also I tell them the energy travels faster than light. We as human beings, as a body, we cannot just do like this, and I cannot be now in 2 seconds by you, but I'm able to send the energy to you.
Mm-hmm.
And that is there at the same time, which is really crazy. It's crazy. If I think with my logical mind, it's crazy.
Mm-hmm.
But in order to do this work, I'm not staying in my mind, I go in the heart
Mm-hmm.
because the heart has more answers than the mind. Because according to a research, because you're a doctor, let's go with the research from HeartMath Institute from California, our heart has its own brain.
Mm-hmm.
That's how we can also think through the heart and give decisions by using our gut feeling, because there's a brain there as well, separate than the brain up here.
Mm-hmm.
And when you tune in to your inner self,
Yeah.
and try to be in flow and listen to your inner guidance,
Mm-hmm.
later on you will start realizing that there is something talking to you in there.
Mm-hmm.
Like if you are driving in the traffic and your gut feeling tells you, take the exit on the right, don't go straight. You are like ignoring that sound or the message, you drive straight, you either end up in a traffic jam or in an accident, and then you're like, oh, why the hell didn't I listen and took that first exit?
Yeah.
So actually there is a communicator within ourselves. Some people call it intuition, some people call it inner guidance, some people call it higher self. Everybody names it differently, like the aliens, like the reptiles, like the angels, like this, like that, you know. We all have names because our human nature is used to giving names and shaping it into an object. So I do these emotional healings with pleasure. I don't even need to talk to people beforehand. I don't even need to know what the problem is. I just go and dive in and go energetically in your energy body, feel what I'm supposed to feel, hear what I'm supposed to hear. And then with my guidance, inner guidance, I do the work. And then afterwards, I go into a coaching session and ask the person what they experienced, what I experienced. So this is how the emotional healing works. And this is what I do for a living, for my life. And it looks like I found my soul mission. This is confirmed a couple of times by now by some intuitive people, let's say. And I just mentioned to you before we started the program, I had my human design reading done. And this was exactly mentioned in that human design as well, that I'm one of the lucky ones. I found my real purpose in life. Because I come from a corporate background. I was a hardcore saleswoman on international American companies, traveling the world and selling. This was steel, this was oil, this was logistics, all kinds of things. So I have that sales businesswoman character. I call myself a warrior, but I also call myself the goddess, warrior goddess, because I also have this inner goddess in me who is really desperate to shine the light, to help people heal, and to make the connection with themselves and with their inner self, which is very important.
I love
because
it.
because we live in this world with so much stress, so much chaos, and we are always living outside of ourselves without really looking within what we really need.
Yeah.
What is our inner child speaking to us? What is our energy telling us? What is that inner guidance? What kind of message the inner guidance is giving us? We don't hear because we don't listen. Because we are so busy outside, how to finish that project, how to handle that school problem, how to make more money, how to be more successful. And it's all about how. But we never look within, because if we really manage to get that connection, we will discover our real life purpose, we will live our own human design, and we will find that fulfillment.
That's right.
Like Tony says, success without fulfillment is ultimate failure.
Yeah.
You can have everything in life, but if you are not happy within yourself, if you are making all those millions by stressing yourself, by forcing your limits, lacking sleep and not taking care of your health, then what is the use of making that money?
Yeah.
You first need that inner joy, inner peace, inner calmness, fulfillment within you. So that's all about me and how I help people.
I love that. And Fusun, it's almost interesting so many times, where do we talk about the story, right? And what you do is so inextricably intertwined with your story and just the experiences that you've had in your life. And I wonder if there's anything top of mind for you around that. I happen to know a couple because you've shared them with me, things that have happened in your life that have really guided you in certain directions. And I wonder if there's something that you'd like to share today about that. Has there been anything that's happened, or what parts of your life have occurred that have really led you to find this piece of yourself that now, everyone around the world is really being gifted when you work with them?
Thank you very much for the question. It's a great question. Actually, I always knew one specific thing that happened to me back in 2007. So I was having my own challenges in life, and I live here in the Netherlands. I'm native Turkish. So I came here when I was 25. I was very young with a very little baby, and I didn't know what to do as a career because I had a very nice career in a film business, movie business, traveling to film festivals, selling movies to TV stations, red carpet. So I had a very colorful life. And all of a sudden, I was stuck in a small town with a baby of 1.5 years old, and I didn't know how to live my life anymore. I was lost. And then eventually, I figured out that I have to start somewhere, and I really started from scratch, from zero with my career and try to build it up. And then, because I was so much into how to thrive and how to find my way and all those kind of things, I was working in this particular American company, and I had a lot of trouble there with the people. And besides that, my husband's family company was bankrupt after 125 years.
Oh,
So
wow.
there was really a lot of stories there as well, a lot of stress, a lot of depression, a lot of unhappy people around me. And then on top of that, I started having all this bad news about my father's health. So all these together put me into depression. So when I was waking up in the morning, I had this strong heartbeat, and I really couldn't calm down, couldn't breathe, and I didn't know what was happening to me. So I was going through a complete transition. And then one day I said, oh, okay, God, what else? Bring it on, bring it on. It was just coming one after the other. And then I said, I need a miracle. And I just Googled the word miracle. And then a website appeared with the name Miracle, and I was shocked. I became a member to that website, and that was a praying circle, and people were praying for each other's problems without knowing each other. And then I started praying. Then more news started coming from my father. And when you live abroad, it's very difficult because you cannot say, okay, let me get into the car, drive there and see how he's doing. You need to arrange work, you need to arrange your kid, you need to take a flight and all that arrangements. So I was really always stressed. Any moment he's going to die and I'm not going to make it on time. I lived with this fear like for 5 years. Eventually he died 3-4 years ago. But then he started not being able to walk. First, it was deadly pains. Then he couldn't walk anymore. And when my mom said that I'm putting him into diapers, that was the last drop in the glass, because my father was a very strong man. He did boxing as a hobby. He was a dancing king. He was always with his feet. And I couldn't imagine such a strong man being in bed in diapers. And I flew over there. I did whatever I was doing at the time with all this inner guidance that I didn't know it exists in me. I didn't know anything. I was like zero.
Yeah.
And then whatever I was doing, it started helping him to get rid of the pain. He stopped complaining about the pain. That was already a big success, which we couldn't understand why he's not complaining anymore with the pain. And then eventually, after 7 days of day and night work with him, I made him walk. But that moment is so special for me because I said to God, I believe in God. It doesn't matter what you believe in. I said, please help me, because I promised him I'm going to make him walk. And that was the thing between my dad and me. When we gave a promise, whatever it took, we kept our promise. I said, I promised him I need to make him walk. So second day, nothing, third day, nothing, fourth day, nothing. And I said, I gave a very big promise to him. I cannot keep this promise. And I started to lose hope. Message of hope comes from there also.
Mm.
And then fifth day, nothing, sixth day, nothing. I said, God, I'm leaving tomorrow. And he's still not walking. And then I get goosebumps. It was the seventh day. And that morning, my father got up from bed and he was trying to feel the ground with his toes. And then I was looking like, what's happening here? And then he grabbed the sides of the couch and got up. And my brother, my nephew, he walked to help. And he said, no, go away. And it was me, my mom, my nephew. And he came to the hallway and I thought he's going to fall, but I'm already in a shock. What is happening out there? Then he walked through the hallway, went to the living room, to the balcony. And they live on the 5th floor. And he shouted all his neighbors. He said, my daughter kept her promise. She told me she will make me walk.
Mm-hmm.
And I came here by myself.
Mm-hmm.
And when I saw that, I burst into tears. And I said, I promise, from now on, nobody will suffer. Whatever I can, I will do to help people. People need hope.
Mm-hmm.
People need healing.
Mm-hmm.
People need to know that things are going to be okay.
Mm-hmm.
So this was my biggest breakthrough. And after that, I went on this journey of crazy seminar junkie trip of my life. Whatever I found out there, I was trying to figure out what I have. And I did many, many courses, got many, many certifications. And then it was like 4 or 5 years ago, I channeled a message. And they told me that the way I healed my father, which was, I didn't know anything back then, you need to teach this to people. And I was like, okay, but how?
Yeah,
it's not
right?
mathematics. It's not 2 + 2 = 4. And then they told me I will figure out the way. And that's what I did. That was the time I was going to Tony Robbins events.
Mm-hmm.
And I came back. I said, you know what? I'm going to put out the date. I said, in October, I'm coming to Turkey to teach my healing course.
Mm-hmm.
And the content was empty. I said, okay, here you go. Do the work. And I created that course. So that was my, sorry?
I said, of course you did. Yeah, of course.
Yeah, it's a great motivation. I advise everybody to do it because it really helps a lot, because you promise to people and you don't want to be embarrassed. You put the date there, the time there, and you know, more or less what you want to do, the name of it. So I started working and I figured it out. And since 3, 4 years, I'm teaching these healing courses.
Mm-hmm.
But the second breakthrough was an unexpected one. And that was my daughter's accident. It was 2 years ago. She had a motorcycle accident in another country when she was for a project. She was going there. And she was in a very severe condition in intensive care. She stayed there for 3 weeks. And we wanted to take her back to the Netherlands, to the hospitals here, but she wasn't allowed to fly because she had too much water and air in the lungs. And they told us that unless that is stable, we are not going to let you fly because her lungs can collapse in the air.
Mm-hmm.
So that was a lot of stress because we were so desperate to take her out of that hospital. The conditions were very poor. We just wanted better hospitals here and all that, the doctors, the language that she could speak there, because not many people spoke English. And then I had this inner guidance. I said, you know what, this is enough. I'm diving in. Because first, I didn't do anything energetically or healing wise, whatever. I thought she's in the hospital, she's safe here, she has doctors, she has nurses, all that kind of stuff. But we were getting so more and more desperate to take her back, and they weren't allowing us to move her by ambulance, by car, by air, nothing.
Mm.
So I said, Tyra, I'm going to give you a healing. Close your eyes. So she closed her eyes. I started working in her lungs. And then the Dutch insurance asked for another test to check the water level. And it was 6 millimeters, the original one. And then it dropped to 2.6 or so.
Mm. Wow.
And then they said, how did this happen? Because they were doing everything and nothing was changing. And then 2-3 hours later, the Dutch insurance asked it again. And it was like 1 millimeter.
Mm.
And then they said, okay, we take the risk now. We are sending the plane and taking her back. And I'm also writing a book about this. When those German doctors came in, they sent the plane from Germany and the doctors from Germany as well.
Wow.
When the doctor introduced himself saying, you are going home, there are no words to describe that moment of my life. Then I came back here and she was taken to the hospital for her biggest operation.
Mm-hmm.
And I always hated the rain. And in the Netherlands, you have a lot of rain.
Mm-hmm.
And then I went outside. It was raining cats and dogs. I looked in the sky. I said, thank you. Thank you for the rain. Thank you for the sky. Thank you for everything I can see. I'm so grateful. I'm so grateful to be alive. I'm so grateful for every experience, everything that happened to me.
Mm-hmm.
I learned the real meaning of what gratitude is
Mm-hmm.
after her accident.
Mm-hmm.
And that was my second breakthrough.
Mm-hmm.
And again, it was an assurance for me that I'm here to help people heal, because I know it works. And I know people are becoming more and more happy and content after those emotional healing sessions. And I enjoy having this fulfillment within me and the great gratitude. I feel like I owe it to God because He gave me this gift, and I'm able to help people and feel my gratefulness because He gave me also my daughter back.
Mm-hmm.
So this is all collected under message of hope, because there is hope. And this year I decided that I'm gonna be the one, at least one of the people out there, who is sharing the message of hope with people, especially around this COVID time, with these challenging, difficult times. People need to see and feel that there is hope for them.
Yeah.
People lost their loved ones, people lost their jobs, people are afraid what is going to happen, what is waiting ahead of them. And I just would like them to feel that there is hope, and these days will be over and we will be again back to our normals. And there is hope. If they lost their job, there is another opportunity. If their business is not doing well, they will always thrive. There is never always rain. There is always sun after the rain. And after sun, there is rain. After winter, there is spring. And after spring, there is autumn. So things are in motion in the world. The energy is changing. The energy is shifting. And there is always hope for the better.
I love that. Well, as you were sharing, I think this is the first time that I really got very emotional. I was very much present to that experience for you with your daughter. And I'm so glad that she's okay.
Thank you.
And I see photos of her often because you're so proud of her, and she's beautiful. And being your daughter, she's beautiful inside and out. And I'm so glad that you had those really trying times, because who you are today is a real gift to a lot of people. And when you say hope, I was wondering if you could extrapolate a little bit, like expand on that, because for me, hope is so important. I think I shared this in another episode. My mother, who's a physician, often says that people who are in a very terminal space health-wise, just having hope from the person that's helping them heal or not makes a huge difference. on their, on their state of wellness. And it's always important to instill hope because it is the ingredient, right? So how do you define hope? And what would you say is, is something that people can do if they have a loved one or if they're in a situation that feels hopeless? Many times when, people listening might say, well, you don't know half of my situation. It's hopeless. What would you recommend or what would you say to them?
First of all, maybe it gives some hope to some of the people out there. I want to share a little bit what happened after Tyra's accident. So she had this 6.5 hours operation from her shoulder and from her arm, and this main bone was sticking out of her arm. So it was a very bad situation. Mm-hmm. And she had broken ribs and she had internal bleeding. She had everything. She had burn marks all over and bruises. And she's a professional dancer. She's on stage. She did MTV Music Awards. She did Mercedes Fashion Show. She did so many big events. And when that thing happened to her, you can imagine, first thing I checked if she's able to walk, because she was in intensive care and I didn't know what's going on there. And I was happy that she could move her legs and her toes. And when she came home, she had to exercise with her arm and hand. For the first time in my life, I went in front of the window and I said, looking at my hands, because I'm going to tell why. I said, wow, how much we are underestimating what we have. Because she had to put her hands on the table like this and try to move the fingers. And Victoria, literally, she was sweating like crazy to move these. And then I said, wow, we have this. It's so normal, right?
Yeah.
Because we have them. It's our standard. We don't know any better. When I saw all that struggle from her, but also the willpower, how much she was pushing to get better, because she wanted to be on stage again. She wanted to dance again. And when I wanted to help her with taking a shower or whatever, she was like, no, don't help me. I will do it myself. She was so focused and dedicated to make herself better. And she made her mindset so strong about that, that she can heal. She can get better. She can be back on that stage. So many people were looking at her with pitying eyes. She got all these bruises and burn marks and went through this traumatic situation. And how can she dance? Everything is broken. She has all metal inside. She's like RoboCop. 3 months later, she was on stage. It took her 3 months. Then she was back on stage. And then she started studying psychology. Because she wanted to know what is going on in a human's mind while they are taking decisions, while they are going through challenges or whatsoever. So all this, in my opinion, is hope for other people, not to give up. If they are confronted with a challenge, that it's just a challenge to make them better.
Yeah.
To make them get better decisions for their lives. And like Tony Robbins says, what if your problems are a gift from God? And I 1000% believe in that, because I have been there, done that myself. My problems returned as a gift to me.
What are some things, Fusun, that you can ask yourself when someone is experiencing a problem? Instead of saying, oh, I must have done something to deserve this problem, and like, oh, it's like coming back to me, to shift it to say, wow, there's something in this problem, like a gift. So what are some things that people can say to themselves when they find themselves in that situation?
Actually, I had an exercise with one of my clients yesterday when I was coaching her. And she was having some emotional things going on in her life many, many years. I said, just remember a time that you were challenged with something. and just something that is pain point of maybe 5, 6, 7 in your life.
Mm-hmm.
And then I just took her through the experience, like where were you, what were you doing, who were around you, and do you hear anything, do you smell anything, do you feel anything, all that experience. So she was living that experience.
Mm-hmm.
And then I said, what made you make the change?
Yeah.
So you realize that there's a problem, and you realize that that problem starts giving you pain, because our pain border is quite strong. We can push it quite well until to the point that we really cannot handle the pain anymore. Emotional or physical, doesn't matter. And then I just made her remember how she made the shift and the feeling after that.
Mm-hmm.
That she was happy that she took that decision. She was happy that she did that action. So this is how I let people go through, by reminding them that, because this is not the ever first problem that's happening in their life. At some point in life, we are always challenged with something.
Mm-hmm.
Sometimes it's small, sometimes it's very big, dramatic experience, but there's always a problem somewhere or a challenge. So how did you come over that challenge? What made you come over that challenge? And how did you feel after that?
Mm-hmm.
So you always have an experience. You learn something
Mm-hmm.
from that problem, from that challenge, or you have an opening, you see something else, or you start looking at life differently or people differently. So you see that there is always a message within that problem for yourself.
Mm-hmm.
And when they remember another story, another challenge, they are realizing that, yeah, actually, of course, this is not the ever first problem. I had problems before, and yeah, I managed to get over them. I can get over it now also. This is not the end of the world. And, all those open-ended questions to make them think and live the experience.
Mm-hmm.
That's how I would explain it.
I love it. Would you agree that unless we're, there has to be a great pain for us to move,
True.
if it's just uncomfortable, okay, but if we're in pain, that makes us
Mm-hmm.
move. And so I hear that in what you're sharing. And I'm also wondering about, it's so interesting. You went from working in film industry, you were in the corporate realm, and you created yourself out of following your passion that was really coming from your pain.
Absolutely. Absolutely. Because that helped me to find my real mission in life. So I could just, and in my human design, apparently I'm also a salesperson, which I did for more than 20 years, sales.
Wow.
But then that wasn't satisfying my soul. It was only feeding my bank account.
Yeah.
It gave me a comfortable life. It gave me a luxury vacation or clothes or whatsoever. But that's what I mean. Also, that's what Tony was saying. Success without fulfillment is ultimate failure. So you can earn the money. You can wear the jacket of corporate businesswoman, walking in high heels and traveling to these destinations and having those fancy meetings in meeting rooms. But if inside is empty, that doesn't mean anything, because sooner or later you will go into severe stress or depression.
Mm-hmm.
And this pain happened in my life to shift me, to show me my real path.
Mm-hmm.
And that's what I started seeing. I said, hey, what am I doing here? Why am I sitting here? There are so many people out there that I can help, and I can be of use, of service, do something useful with my life, And that's how I shifted. And I said, you know what? Bye, guys. I'm out of this corporate world. And my mom was very sad and scared.
Of course.
She said, but you don't know, and you don't know how much you will make, and this and that, and you are used to good life. And I said, so what? This was my mindset. I said, instead of buying 10 pairs of shoes, I will buy one pair of shoes. I said, anyway, if you buy one pair now, tomorrow you want the other pair, right? There is no end to it. And that's how I shifted my mind and took the step and burned the boats.
I love
And
it.
I'm so blessed and happy I did it.
Mm-hmm.
I cannot even imagine myself sitting in that corporate desk. It's
Mm.
like a trauma.
Well, yeah, it feels like long distance trauma that you never have to go back to.
Yeah.
And I want to highlight you and what you're doing. I know that you actually have an offering for women.
Yes.
And I'm thinking of a young lady, and there are many women that I work with actually who would certainly benefit from a lot of what you're sharing. And I'm wondering, can you share a little bit about that, as well as other things that you have going on right now, and how people can become involved in working with you?
Sure. So because I did the corporate part of my life and I shifted to my entrepreneurship life, I was thinking that I can be a role model for so many women out there who are trying to either start up a business or who already started up, but they want to grow in their business, who are having difficulty in controlling their emotional state and lacking self-confidence. Because self-confidence and self-esteem is big, huge. We all have it at a certain point, at a certain level. But when you are able to control your emotions, what does this mean? Like waking up in the morning, not with depression or stress or with down mood, but be happy and motivated and energetic and looking forward to what you can create that day. This is very important for someone who has his own business, him or her, it doesn't matter. And also the self-confidence, because if you are not confident in what you are doing, if you don't believe in yourself, if you don't believe in the work you do, how can you give trust to other people? Because people do business with you unless they trust you. If you cannot build that trust, then they have nothing to buy from you. They need to trust your products.
You have to trust yourself. There's self-trust that comes before being able to have someone else trust you, which goes back to the self-esteem and the self-confidence.
Absolutely. So that's exactly what I mean. So when you don't have that trust in you and in what you are trying to market or promote or sell, then people are not going to come to you. So what I do, I teach ladies how to improve their self-confidence and teach them tools, very simple tools, which are very useful, that they can use anytime, anywhere, any moment, to let them control their emotions, their stress, their sadness or worry or anxiety or whatsoever. And actually, my course is starting on Saturday this week. So it's called Self-Confidence Secrets, and it is for female entrepreneurs. So if anybody wants it, then it's the last minute, because tomorrow is already Thursday and it's starting on Saturday. You don't need to have any basic information of anything. You can come as you are. So that's a 4 weeks course that I open very irregularly. This will be my third group. I started last year and people love it. I have women all around the world. Again, we have women from Miami, from Chicago, from Canada, from London. So it's a really mixed group. And I love empowering those ladies because I want women also to show themselves in the society. And the world needs that feminine energy, that women power, because we are being ruled too much with masculine energy and masculine power.
That's a whole other can of worms that I've been diving into very deeply since you and I have become acquainted, Fusun. So we should actually have another talk perhaps about that, because wow, the world of feminine and masculine energy has just opened up a whole new world for me in my personal and professional life. So that's amazing. And tell us, so I have down there lifehealingacademy.com. Is that how people can get in touch with you again?
Yes, that's my website. And if they want, they can book a 15 minutes discovery call free of charge. I always say 15 minutes, it becomes half an hour. So I can just go ahead and book a call and understand more about what I'm doing and how I can help.
Amazing. And people can still also get in touch with you regarding their own personal work, correct? With their
Of course.
Okay. And how do they, is it still through lifehealingacademy.com?
Yeah, they can either use this website or they can find me on Facebook as Fusun Raynart with my first name and second name. Here I see RAY, but it is RY. So that's how they can find me, Fusun Raynart, or just directly send a message via my website.
Incredible. Amazing. Well, I would love to ask, is there anything that you'd like to send anyone off with who's listening? A mantra, a quote, a message, anything that you'd like to share before we end?
Wow, this is an unexpected question. Let me think.
You're very good with this, so.
Just I ask them to put their right hand on their heart and take a deep breath.
Ah, so perfect for right now.
And let it go. Let all the stress of the day and the worries float away from your body.
I love that. Thank you. Thank you so much.
You're welcome. Thank you very much for your time too and giving me this space.
Of course, this was really beautiful. You know, I know people from many different vantage points, but being able to hear a little bit more of your story, it adds to, you know, the contribution that you give. There's just something very special about listening to someone like you who does these incredible things and learning that you've gone through some things and how you've actually learned, like an art, to struggle to find your way to an even better, more amazing, more magical space in your life. It's just incredible. I love it. Thank you for sharing your story.
You're welcome. Just one little thing.
Yeah.
Life is a dance. And the more you dance, the better dancer you become. So just keep on dancing.
I love it. And it's even better with a partner.
Yeah, if you have a partner on the same platform, but mostly we attract the opposite. This can be another topic.
A whole other time. We'll definitely have that conversation. Fusun, thank you so much. And
you're welcome. Thank